And I didn't even know where to start. This is that second book syndrome. You know, I had written the Ground Ties books. They just flew out of my brain. I just couldn't stop them. And then you have to come up with this second book. Well, I had one of those little battery-driven perpetual motion things, you know, the concentric rings that spin. And it just started. It started with that, and I wanted a power source, and I wanted magic, but I wanted them to use it as a power source rather than, you know, I figure if humanity has something like magic, they'll figure out a way to make a buck off it. And that was my basic philosophy, and it started with that goofy thing, and it was a case of, okay, if these are spinning, how can, and it was an interplay really of the whole idea of electromagnetism.
She came up with the notion
batteries
that
turning and creating electromagnetic field.
You know, like direct lines between these objects. And I said, I read a book once.
I wanted lines of force along the earth so that these things could be cutting through them.
By somebody proposing that ley lines connected things in England. And I went digging through my library. I said, here
ley lines.
Ley lines. And so it just sort of grew like Topsy.
One of the things that got me in a lot of trouble on a panel was an editor for a book publisher who shall remain nameless was in the audience and absolutely had a cat fit because I said that you can write short stories when you're younger, but you don't really have a novel in you until you are at least 30. Now you might be 14 going on 30, but you have to have about 30 years of normal life experience. And I say that, and I mean not writing, I mean life experience. The more writing is the answers to questions. And the more options you have for the answer to a given question, the more possibilities you have, the more likely you are to come up with something unique. I started writing at 35, and I was a math, physics, anthropology, and astronomy major. And I was a straight A student. I didn't graduate in any of them, but I came this close to all of them. I ended up 3 general university requirements in writing, in humanities short. So I don't have my degree because I am short because I didn't take literature.
And you've written how many things?
Yeah, Dear Wazoo will not look at that as life experience. That doesn't count. So I still don't have my degree, but I don't care. I get more mileage out of it without it. The story's much better without it. However, it is an enormous advantage, in my opinion, to have not only the connections that a personal background will give you and personal experience and knowledge will give you, but the network of people that you get. As Carolyn said, she's the one who came up with the ley lines. And once you have that concept, then all of the things that go along with it. Ley lines in England exist. There's paths between them where stuff doesn't grow. It doesn't grow because those are considered religious pathways that people walked on. And so it's cleared, and it doesn't grow because they're paths the way every other path is if it's used, does not get. But if you expand that to the idea that power is flowing along it and destroying stuff along the way, then you have the world that I have, which is much more a combination of the effect and coming up with a logic for why the effect exists.